A family's betrayal, a crumbling empire, and a revenge that'll leave you speechless. From a sagging couch to a jaw-dropping glass mansion, Lena's secret plan exposes shocking lies. Hidden debts, a shady past, and a house that flips their world upside down. Click now to witness the ultimate comeback that destroys a dynasty.
The springs of the old couch jab into my spine as I lie here, staring at the ceiling of my parents' living room, counting cracks like they're stars. 3 months of this, and it still feels like sleeping in a stranger's house. I'm Lena, 38, and this is not where I saw myself, curled up under a musty quilt that smells like forgotten winters, listening to my mother's sharp sighs every time she glides past. Lena, sweetheart, her voice drips with that polished edge. Could you tidy up your blankets before Marcus and Elise get here? We don't want them thinking we're a halfway house. I swallow the retort, folding the quilt as the front door swings open. My brother Marcus strides in, his perfect grin leading the way. Elise trailing with her sleek purse catching the light. Mom wraps Marcus in a hug while I shove my pillow behind a cushion. The house looks impeccable as always, Elise says, her voice just loud enough. Well, most of it. Mom chuckles, a real chuckle, like it's the funniest thing she's heard. Lena, still camping out here? Marcus teases, his tone light but cutting. Where else would she go? Elise adds, twisting her sapphire ring so it gleams. I force a smile, just until I'm back on my feet. 3 months, Lena, Mom says, as if I've lost count. Your father and I are worried. The door opens again, and Dad shuffles in from his morning tennis match, barely glancing at me before lighting up at Marcus. Son, didn't know you were coming. Surprise visit, Marcus beamed. Got to show you and Mom the plans for the new law firm. That's my boy, Dad says, clapping his shoulder, always moving forward. The unspoken, unlike some, hangs in the air. I slip out to the back deck, needing to breathe. Through the kitchen window, I hear them at the dining table, voices buzzing as Marcus unrolls his blueprints. This is what ambition looks like, Mom says, her pride like a knife. My phone vibrates. A notification from my freelance platform. Another 5-star review, another payment cleared. They don't know about my business, don't ask, don't care. Night falls, and the house stills. Marcus and Elise claim my old bedroom, the one I wasn't allowed because they need space when they visit. I wait until the lights dim, then grab my jacket. The night air bites as I walk our street, past pristine lawns and gleaming SUVs. I stop at number 17, the neighborhood's pride, a sleek 4-story glass and stone masterpiece. Even in the dark, it demands attention. I press my hand against the iron gate, a smile tugging at my lips. My phone buzzes again. A text from Nora, my realtor. Papers ready. You sure about this? I glance back at my parents' house, where I'm just a guest on a sagging couch. Absolutely, I type. Time to show them what I'm made of. Another text from Nora. Meeting tomorrow, 8 a.m. Bring the check. I linger at the gate, the for sale sign faint in the moonlight. Soon, that sign will vanish. Soon, they'll see what I've been building while they wrote me off. A final text from Mom. Don't forget to tidy the couch. The neighbors can see it. I pocket my phone and head back. The couch springs creaking as I settle in. Tonight, they don't bother me. I close my eyes, counting days until I never sleep here again, until I stand in that glass house and watch their faces when they realize their broken daughter owns the home they've coveted forever. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't loud. Sometimes it's crafted quietly, piece by piece, while they're too busy judging to notice you soaring. Dinner the next night is a showcase of Elise's latest promotion, regional director at her consulting firm. Isn't that incredible, Lena? Mom says, her voice thick with a pride she's never aimed at me. I nudge my carrots around my wine plate, feeling their eyes. Congrats, Elise. Thank you, she says, her smile sharp. The firm values loyalty, sticking with things through the hard times. Marcus smirks, and I grip my fork tighter. Speaking of work, I try. My online business has been... Oh, those little internet projects, Mom cuts in, waving a hand. Henry, did you hear about the Thompsons' new gazebo? Another payment cleared today, 6 figures, but they'd rather talk about landscaping. Actually, I start again, I just signed a major client. Lena, Dad interrupts. Maybe Marcus could get you something stable at his firm. A real job. Marcus leans back. We could use someone to file papers. I earn more in a month than your paralegal does in a year. I mutter. What was that? Mom's tone sharpens. Nothing. I stand grabbing my plate. Thanks for dinner. In the kitchen, I scrub dishes, pausing when I hear their voices. How long are we letting her stay? Dad sighs. What choice do we have? Divorced? No real career? The neighbors are starting to notice that blanket on the couch. At least Marcus gives us something to brag about, Mom says. I set the plate down before I snap it, grab my jacket, and slip out. The night air steadies me as I walk my route. The glass house looms, a single light glowing inside. Probably Nora, prepping for a showing. Back again? Her voice startles me. She steps from the shadows, her realtor smile softer under the streetlights. Just walking, I say. At this hour? She mimics Mom's tone, making me laugh. Paperwork's set, she says, serious now. But why this house? There are cheaper ways to prove a point. I think of the dinner table, years of being the family letdown. Because good enough isn't enough. She hands me a folder, inspection reports. Thought you'd want these before tomorrow. Our fingers brush as I take it. Thanks. You didn't have to come out here. Maybe I wanted to. Her eyes hold mine. There's a late-night cafe nearby. Join me? For a moment, I'm tempted. But my ex-husband's promises flash in my mind. His charm, his lies, the way he laughed when he left me with nothing. I should get back, I say. Dishes to finish. Nora nods. Tomorrow, 8 a.m. Don't forget the check. Back at the house, I see them through the window. Marcus, Elise, Mom, Dad. The perfect family minus me. My phone buzzes. Another client request. Another chance they'll never acknowledge. That's fine. Let them think I'm wandering aimlessly. They'll see soon enough. Inside, Elise's voice drifts from the kitchen. I feel so bad for her, 38, and crashing on a couch. I'd rather die. Don't worry, Marcus says. When we're married, we'll never end up like that. I clear my throat as I walk in, watching them flinch. You're right, Elise. You wouldn't survive it. Lucky for me, I'm tougher. Lena, she starts. But I'm already at the couch, opening Nora's folder. The house's details blur before me. Square footage, tax records, upgrades, all. Mine soon, paid with money I earned while they thought I was scrolling mindlessly. Mom passes, tutting at my screen. If she looked closer, she'd see 7 figures in my account. She doesn't. None of them do. That's their mistake. I wasn't prying. Not exactly. I was hunting for a pen in Dad's office when a folder slipped from Marcus's briefcase, spilling papers across the rug, bank statements, default notices, a foreclosure warning. My golden brother, the flawless lawyer, was sinking in debt. What are you doing? Marcus's voice snaps me back. He's in the doorway, his face paling as he sees the papers. Heavy reading, I say, holding up a loan denial. Does Elise know your firm's bleeding cash? Give me those, he snarls, snatching them, hands shaking. This isn't what it looks like. No? Because it looks like you're using Mom and Dad's savings to prop up your practice. His jaw tightened. You don't get business. I get lying. Rich. Coming from someone who can't afford her own apartment. Before I can reply, Mom calls us for brunch. Marcus shoves the papers away, his glare screaming, "Keep quiet." The dining room gleams with Mom's fancy china, reserved for impressing Elise. Lena, you could have dressed up, Mom sighs, eyeing my jeans. Elise launches into a tale about her latest client win, and my phone buzzes under the table. Nora. Offer accepted. Ready when you are. Speaking of wins, Elise turns to me, her smile venomous. Lena, you're such a perfect warning. Sign. No offense, but your life's a mess. Mom laughs. Actually laughs. Elise, Marcus warns, but she presses on. I mean, divorced and couch surfing at your age? That's why I say career first, right, Margaret? Mom nods. Elise knows what matters, unlike some. I stand slowly, my chair scraping. You're right, Elise. I am a warning. I pull out my phone, dialing Nora. Hi. Yes, I'm ready. To close on the purchase. Full price, cash. The table goes silent. What purchase? Mom asks, her voice sharp. I hold up a finger, finishing the call. Yes, I can sign today. Great. I hang up, smiling at their stunned faces. Just sealing the deal on my new house. What house? Marcus's voice cracks. Oh, just a place down the road. Number 17. Mom's spoon clatters. The glass house? That's absurd. Want to see the proof of funds? I pull documents from my bag. All those nights on my laptop? I wasn't wasting time. I was building something bigger than... You ever imagined? Elise grabs the papers, her nails digging into them as she scans the numbers. This can't be real, she whispers. Funny thing about hitting bottom, I say, taking them back. It teaches you how to rise. But that house was meant for us, Mom stammers. It will be, just not for the family you planned. I turn to Marcus. By the way, you might want to mention those loan defaults before the bank does. His face drains as Mom and Dad turn to him. What's she talking about? I grab my bag, pausing to savor Elise's shock. Thanks for brunch. And Elise, you're right. Career first. That's what I did. Outside, Nora waits in her car. I slide in, watching chaos unfold through the dining room window. Marcus waving his hands, Mom clutching her pearls, Elise frozen. I've never seen someone buy a house to prove a point, Nora says, pulling away. Not a point, I correct. Justice. She glances at me. Their faces were worth every cent. I lean back, remembering a moment 15 years ago. Teenage, Lena winning a national art contest, only to have Marcus's debate trophy steal the spotlight at dinner. This isn't just about the house. It's about showing them their yardstick was always warped. My phone buzzes. Another client payment. Sometimes the best revenge is letting them choke on their own misjudgment. The glass house looms as we arrive, no longer a dream, but a reality. Welcome to your castle, Nora says, dropping the keys into my hand. I open the front door and light floods through towering windows, bouncing off polished floors. My footsteps echo in the vast space. Previous owners left some pieces, Nora says. Keep what you like. I trace a granite island in the kitchen. It's perfect. A knock interrupts her security system rundown. Through the glass, I see a woman in her 60s, poised like she stepped out of a vintage film. Can I help you? I ask, opening the door. I'm Vivian, she says, her smile tight. I used to own this house. Nora steps forward. Mrs. Carter, I didn't expect... No, you wouldn't. Vivian turns to me. May I come in? There's something you should know about this place. I glance at Nora, who shrugs. Your house now. We sit in the airy living room, Vivian perched on a velvet chair like she's guarding a secret. It's a stunning home, she says, gazing at the chandelier. I didn't want to sell. I was forced. Forced? I lean forward. By Henry Larson. Your father, I presume. The air chills. What do you mean? Years ago, Henry and I had a real estate deal. When it soured, he leveraged certain information to make me sell this house for pennies. She slides an envelope across the table. He wanted it for Marcus. My hands tremble as I scan the documents. Emails, contracts, subtle threats dressed as negotiation. Why tell me? Because I saw your name on the sale, Vivian says, her smile sharp. And I believe in balance. Nora clears her throat. I'll give you two some privacy. No, I say. Stay. After Vivian leaves, I sit, processing. My father's shadow on this house, his plans for Marcus. It's almost poetic that I'm here instead. You okay? Nora asks. Help me open these windows. We push back heavy curtains, letting light pour in, each pane feeling like a revealed truth. Security code, Nora says, programming the system. Pick something they'd never guess. I enter the date of my divorce, the day they stopped seeing me as family and started seeing me as a flaw. My phone buzzes. Mom, Marcus and Elise are coming for dinner tomorrow. A small engagement party. You'll keep out of sight, yes? I show Nora the text. Perfect timing. For what? For moving in. I start calling movers, decorators, cleaners. Time to show them what out of sight really means. Hours blur as we set up the house. I direct furniture, unpack boxes from storage, things I hid while they thought I was broken. You've been planning this for months, Nora realizes, watching me hook up a triple monitor setup. Since the day they stuck me on that couch. Every night they thought I was drifting. I was working, scheming, rising. The sun sets, and my parents' house looks small across the street, its charm faded. I unpack one last box, pulling out a framed photo. Me at 16, holding a scholarship letter, while my family fawned over Marcus's football jersey. Why keep that? Nora asks. To remember why I'm here. I set it on my desk. My phone buzzes. Marcus. Mom says you're moving. Where could you possibly go? I don't reply. Let them stew. Tomorrow they'll see. The moving. Truck rumbles in at noon, just as cars line up at my parents' house for their party. Perfect. I watch from my driveway as Elise's silver Audi pulls in, followed by Marcus's leased Porsche. Ready? Nora asks, helping unload. Always. Mom steps onto her porch, wine glass in hand, and freezes as I guide a leather sectional through my door. Lena, her voice carries. What are you doing? I wave. Moving. Marcus and Elise appear, drawn by the noise, their faces falling as they realize where. Is that? Elise squints. No way. I'm arranging art in my foyer when Mom barges in. What is this? Home ownership, I say, adjusting a frame. You should close your mouth, the neighbors might notice. This house, you can't... I did. I hand her the quilt. Won't need this anymore. She clutches it, stunned. Your father will hear about this. Good. Through the window, I see Elise cornering Marcus by his car, waving papers, likely his default notices. Those are private, he snaps. Private. Like the overdrawn accounts, the hidden loans? Mom pales. What's she talking about? Ask your star child, I say. Or ask Dad about his history with this house. Vivian Carter says hello. Mom's face goes white. You spoke to Vivian? Lovely woman, full of stories about Dad's deals. Outside, Elise hurls her ring at Marcus. You said your firm was solid. Baby, please, don't! She storms off, leaving Marcus alone as his lies unravel. Mom rushes out, trying to salvage things, leaving me in my new home. Wine? Nora appears with glasses. Please. We watch the chaos from my window as Vivian arrives, right on cue. Quite a show, she says, taking a glass. Your mother looks unwell. Truth does that. Mom's voice drifts through the air. Marcus, tell me this isn't true. Explain what? Dad appears, fresh from tennis. Why is Elise leaving? Why is there a truck at... He stops, seeing me. I raise my glass. No, he mutters. That's impossible. Funny, I call. Mom said the same. He charges toward my door, but Nora steps in. Private property, sir. You're not invited. This is my daughter's house. Exactly, I say. My house. My rules. Henry. Vivian steps forward. Good to see you. 5 years since you pressured me to sell this place. Dad staggers back. You what? She sips her wine. Balance is a curious. Mom is pulling. Thomas, what's she saying? Nothing, just business. Business? Marcus laughs bitter. Like the advice you gave me? Look where that got us. They dissolve into shouting on my lawn, their perfect image shattering. Should we stop them? Nora asks. Let them unravel, Vivian says. Sometimes a family needs to fracture to rebuild. This one won't rebuild, I say, watching Mom sink onto my steps, head in hands. Marcus speeds off, Dad drags Mom home, and the party guests scatter, leaving half-eaten hors d'oeuvres and wilted streamers. To new chapters, Nora toasts. And old lies, Vivian adds. I look at my home, then at the mess next door. I regret nothing. Good, Vivian says. This is just the start. The doorbell jolts me at 6 a.m. Through the camera, I see Mom, pristine despite the hour. I take my time opening the door, letting her fidget. She pushes past into my foyer. We need to talk. Marcus needs this house. I nearly spit my coffee. Excuse me? It's his dream home. He's struggling, and this would help him recover. Like you helped me with a couch and criticism? That was different. You were flawed. I set my mug down. That's what you called me when you thought I wasn't listening. She flinches. We were concerned. No, you were concerned about appearances. Regardless, she straightens. Marcus needs this more. Name your price. I laugh. It's not for sale. Don't be petty, Lena. This vengeance doesn't suit you. Nor does blackmailing Vivian to sell. But that didn't stop Dad. Her face pales. That's not... Want to see my books? I open my laptop. 7-figure months. Mom, while you thought I was failing, I built something bigger than Marcus's firm ever was. Speaking of business, Vivian's voice cuts in. She steps inside with a folder. I brought those documents we discussed. Mom's eyes narrow. What documents? Just some records of Dad's property deals, I say, taking the folder. Tax evasions, shell accounts, threats to other sellers. The licensing board would be thrilled. You wouldn't. Try me. She grabs her purse. Your father will hear about this. Tell him fraud has a long shadow. After she leaves, Vivian pours coffee. Her face when you mentioned the board. My phone buzzes. Elise, can we talk? 30 minutes later, she's in my kitchen, her usual polish faded. Marcus lied about everything, she says. The firm's bankrupt. He blew our savings on bad investments. And now, she hesitates. I'm pregnant. I nearly drop my mug. Does he know? No, and he won't. Her eyes glint with tears. I'm moving back to my parents. I can't raise a kid with a liar. Why tell me? Because you were right, and I'm sorry for how I treated you. Before I can answer, my phone rings, an unknown number. Lena Larson? This is the state licensing board. We got a tip about Henry Larson. I catch Vivian's eye as I listen, and she raises her coffee in a toast. After hanging up, I turn to Elise. There's a great OB-GYN downtown. I can get you her info. Thanks. She pauses at the door. Your parents really failed. You, didn't they? They failed both their kids. They just don't see it yet. That evening, Nora brings takeout, and we sift through Vivian's document. Your father's losing his license, she says, scanning emails. Maybe jail time. Having doubts? I think of the couch, years of their quiet cruelty, Marcus's secrets, Mom's control. Not one. My phone lights up. Text from Marcus. What did you tell Elise? From Mom. The neighbors are talking. From Dad. The board called. We need to talk. I mute them and walk to the window. Next door, their dining room, is a battlefield. Gestures wild, faces red. The best part? I tell Nora. They did this to themselves. I just held up the truth and bought their dream house. That too, Vivian says, joining us. The neighborhood gala's next week, traditionally hosted in the street's biggest home. I turn to her. You mean, welcome to hosting, darling. Shall we invite the family? I smile, watching their house dim. Wouldn't dream of excluding them. The gala turns my home into a vision. Crystal lights dance on marble, champagne sparkles, and the neighborhood's elite drift in tailored suits. I adjust my tailored blazer, catching my reflection. Gone is the woman who slept on a couch. In Nye, her place is someone they never expected. Darling, Vivian air kisses me. They've arrived. Mom enters, her smile fragile. Dad follows, aged by the board's investigation. Marcus slinks in, alone. Lena, Mom says, teeth clenched. Lovely party, isn't it? Success buys nice things. I'll need whiskey, Dad mutters. A board member approaches. Henry, missed you at the hearing. Dad excuses himself, Mom trailing. Marcus shifts awkward. Heard from Elise? I ask. Don't, he snaps. You ruined everything. You managed that yourself. How's the firm? He grabs my arm, but Nora appears, her hand on my shoulder. All good? Marcus? Let's go, adjusting his tie. Just family talk. Speaking of, I check my watch. Time for the tour. I gather the guests in the foyer, their eyes gleaming for a glimpse of the glass house. Mom and Dad linger at the back, shrinking. Welcome, I say, microphone in hand. Many of you know this house from Vivian's days. She's here tonight, and she helped make this possible. I nod to her, watching Dad flinch. You might wonder how I landed here. It's a story. It starts with a couch. The crowd quiets. When my marriage ended, my family gave me a couch. Not my old room. That was for Marcus and his now ex-fiancé. Just a couch and daily reminders I was a letdown. Mom steps forward. Lena, don't. But rock bottom teaches you who you are. While they mocked me, I built a 7-figure business. While they fretted about neighbors, I planned this. Marcus heads for the door, but Nora blocks him. Now, I gesture to the house. I own the home they always wanted. And this house has a history. Forced sales, hidden deals, threats. Dad lunges. Stop this. Or what? Vivian steps up. You'll threaten me again? Gasps Ripple. You broke me quietly, I say, voice steady. I rebuilt, in silence. Now, I don't have to be silent. Applause erupts, warm and real. Mom bolts, Dad follows. Marcus stays, his eyes dark. Later, I catch him in my office on the security feed, rifling my desk. Looking for something? I ask from the doorway. He jumps, clutching papers. These prove Dad's deals. The board would... Copies, I say. Originals are with the DA. You've destroyed us. No, you did that. I just stopped pretending. After the guests leave, Nora helps clean. That speech was something. Felt right to say it. Your mother's face when you mentioned the couch. Karma's gorgeous. Outside, I see my family trudge. Home, shoulders low, their facade in pieces. You're not like them, Nora says, taking my hand. Thank God. I don't pull away. One more drink? I'd like that. In the kitchen, I find Vivian's note. You took their power and made it yours. Welcome home. I tuck it away, pour wine, and join Nora on the terrace. Their house is dark, their lies exposed. Let them hide. I've found my light. The doorbell rings mid-morning as I work in my office. Through the camera, I see Elise, nervous, but steady. I had my ultrasound, she says, stepping inside, showing me a blurry image. It's a boy. Congrats, I say, meaning it. I'm not showing yet, but she takes a breath. Your mom's been calling, Marcus told them. Of course he did. I lead her to the kitchen. They want me to give him another chance for the baby. Mom offered to clear his debts. If I stay, and... I said no, a small smile. I told her I learned from you. Sometimes leaving is strength. The kettle hummed. How'd she take it? She hung up. Then your dad called, preaching family duty. I hung up. On him. I hand her tea. Proud of you. That's why I'm here. She pulls out papers. The DA wants me to testify about Marcus's finances. What I knew when. I did this morning. She meets my eyes. Your father's being charged next month. Tires screech outside. Dad storms up my path, face red, pounding the door. Security's on, I tell Elise. He can't get in. You! He yells through the glass. You turned everyone against me. Your choices did that, I shout back. I built everything, through lies and threats. How's that going? Mom appears, pulling him back. Marcus's car roars up. Dad, stop! The neighbors! I laugh. Still worried about them, Mom? She freezes, and for a moment, I see something like regret in her eyes. Henry, she says soft, let's go. Not until... It's over, she snaps, voice breaking. We did this. Dad deflates, aging in second. Marcus stands, lost, as his world collapses. Riley, he spots her. Baby, goodbye, she says, hand on her stomach, turning away. They shuffle back to their house, a defeated parade. You okay? Elise asks. Better than ever. My phone buzzes. Nora. Dinner tonight? Yes, I text, then turn to Elise. Stay for lunch. We can talk single mom life, business, whatever. I'd like that. She smiles. Real this time. I thought you were the warning. Turns out, you were the wake-up call. The sun streams through my windows as we talk. Outside, Vivian walks her dog, waving. Mom peers through their curtains, then vanishes. Your son, I tell Elise, will have a better example than we did. Speaking of examples, she nods to Nora's car pulling up. She's good for you. We're going slow, I say, watching Nora approach with takeout, building something true. Unlike them, Elise says, gesturing next door. Later in my living room, my favorite space, Nora joins me. Heard about your father's charges. Karma catches up. Not sad. Sad for who they became, not their consequences. She takes my hand, and I lean into her. Outside, Marcus's car starts, likely heading to drown his guilt. Mom's shadow crosses their window, then fades. Let them hide. I've got light, success, and something. Real with Nora. I've got Elise's trust, Vivian's guidance, and a home that's mine. Most of all, I've got myself. Stronger, sharper, unstoppable. They wanted me invisible. Instead, I became undeniable. The next morning, sunlight spills across my kitchen island, glinting off the ultrasound photo Elise left behind. I pin it to the fridge, a quiet promise to be there for her and her son. My laptop hums with new client emails, each one a reminder of the empire I've built from nothing. Nora's coffee mug sits on the counter, a small trace of her from last night's dinner. I smile, rinsing it, letting the warmth of our slow, steady connection ground me. Outside, the neighborhood is quiet, but the tension from next door lingers like a storm cloud. I spot Mom's car pulling out, her face hidden behind sunglasses. No wave, no glance. Marcus's Porsche is gone, probably chasing another bad deal or drowning his guilt at some bar. Dad's probably in his office, scrambling to salvage his reputation before the DA tightens the noose. I don't linger on them. My focus is here, my home, my work, my life. Vivian's dog barks, pulling my attention. She's on her morning walk, her elegant stride unbothered by the chaos she helped unleash. She catches my eye and crosses the street, her dog trotting happily. Morning, Lena, she calls, stepping onto my porch. Thought you might want company after yesterday's fireworks. Always, I say, opening the door. She settles into a bar stool, her dog curling up by her feet. You stirred quite the hornet's nest, she says, her tone approving. The neighborhood's buzzing about Henry's charges, and Marcus's meltdown? Chef's kiss. They earned it, I say, pouring her coffee. But I'm done watching their drama. I've got plans. Her eyes spark. Do tell. I slide my tablet across the counter, showing her a mock-up for my business's new website. Clean, bold, with a tagline. Rise from the ground up. I'm expanding, I say. Hiring a team, maybe opening an office downtown, and I'm mentoring. Women like Elise, single moms, divorcees, anyone who's been written off. Vivian scans the designs, nodding. This is power, Lena. Not just money, impact. You're rewriting the rules. That's the idea. I hesitate, then add, I'm also thinking about a foundation. Scholarships for kids like I was. Talented, but overshadowed by someone else's spotlight. She sets the tablet down, her gaze piercing. You're not just winning, you're changing the game. But don't spread yourself too thin. You've earned some joy too. I think of Nora, her laugh last night, the way her hand felt in mine. I'm working on that. Good. Vivian stands, brushing dog hair off her slacks. Oh, and the gala committee called. They want you to host next year too. Tradition's yours now. Let them try to take it back, I say, grinning. She laughs, sharp and free, and heads out, her dog prancing behind her. My phone buzzes. Another client, then a text from Elise. Lunch was great. Can we do it again? Also, found a lawyer for the DA case. I'm ready. I reply, anytime. You've got this. Then Nora, work's crazy, but I'm free tonight. Your place? I type, bring wine. I'll cook. The day unfolds with purpose. I finalize contracts, sketch out the foundation's framework, and call a contractor to customize my office. Floor-to-ceiling shelves for my books, a space that screams me. By afternoon, the movers deliver the last of my storage. Art I painted. In my 20s, journals from my marriage's collapse. A box of awards my parents never displayed. I hang the art, shelve the journals, and set the awards on my desk. Not to gloat, but to remember. Every step, every scar brought me here. Dusk settles. As I prep dinner, roasted vegetables, seared salmon, a playlist Nora loves humming to. Through the window, I see Mom's car return. She steps out, slower now, carrying grocery bags. No Marcus, no Dad. For a second, I wonder if she's eating alone tonight. Then I turn away. Her choices aren't my burden. Nora arrives, her hair loose, a bottle of Pinot in hand. Smells amazing, she says, kissing my cheek. We eat on the terrace, the glass house glowing behind us. Heard from your family? She asks, sipping her wine. Not since Mom tried to buy this place for Marcus. I laugh, but it's hollow. They're probably plotting damage control. They'll need it, Nora says. The DA's case is airtight. Elise's testimony sealed it. I nod, slicing into my salmon. I thought I'd feel more. Triumph, maybe. But it's just quiet. That's victory, she says, her hand brushing mine. Not loud, not flashy, just you standing tall. We finish dinner, the conversation shifting to lighter things. Her latest case, my foundation ideas, a weekend trip we might take. Later, we curl up on my couch. Not the sagging one from my parents' house, but a sleek, velvet piece that fits this life. The TV hums with a movie we half watch, her head on my shoulder. My phone stays silent. No texts from Mom, no pleas from Marcus, no threats from Dad. Their absence feels like freedom. Midnight creeps in, and Nora dozes off, her breathing soft. I ease out from under her, grabbing my tablet to jot down a thought for the foundation. Fund art programs first. Kids need to create, to be seen. Then I glance at the security feed, habit now after Dad's outburst. Their house is dark, curtains drawn, but a light flicks on in Mom's kitchen, her silhouette pacing. I wonder what she's thinking, regret, anger, or just how to spin this for the neighbors. It doesn't matter. Her world's shrinking, mine's expanding. I set the tablet down and slide back beside Nora, pulling a throw over us. The glass house hums with quiet energy, every corner mine. Tomorrow, I'll meet Elise for coffee, call Vivian about the gala, push my business further. But tonight, it's enough to be here, whole, unshakable, with someone who sees me. I close my eyes, not counting cracks or days, but dreaming of what's next. They thought they'd dim my light. Instead, I built a beacon. Let them stare. I'm just getting started. The morning sun cuts through the glass walls, painting my office in gold. I'm at my desk, sketching out the foundation's first art program. Workshops for teens, free supplies, mentors who actually listen. Elise's ultrasound photo on the fridge catches my eye, a reminder of why this matters. My phone buzzes with, a new client contract? Another step toward that downtown office? Nora's mug from last night is still in the sink, and I smile, thinking of her sleepy grin as she left for work. This life, mine, hard one, feels like a rhythm I'm finally mastering. Outside, the street is still. Mom's car hasn't moved since yesterday, and their curtains stay shut, like they're hiding from the world. Vivian's dog barks in the distance, probably chasing squirrels on her morning walk. I jot down a note to invite her to the next gala planning meeting. She'd have ideas to make it unforgettable. My laptop pinged, an email from the DA's office confirming Dad's hearing date. No surprise there. Elise's testimony, paired with Vivian's documents, built a case he can't dodge. I closed the email, refocusing on my work. Their consequences aren't my story anymore. Hey, quick pause. Loving this journey of Lena's rise? What do you think her next big move should be? Drop your thoughts below. Give this a like if you're rooting for her. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. All right, back to the glass house. I head to the kitchen, brewing coffee as I plan the day. Elise is coming by later to talk business. She's thinking of starting her own consulting firm, something small but hers. I promise to walk her through my freelance platform, show her how to dodge the pitfalls I hit early on. It feels good, passing on what I've learned, like I'm breaking the cycle my family tried to trap me in. The doorbell rings and I check the camera, expecting a delivery. Instead, it's Marcus, unshaven, his tie loose like he slept in his car. I hesitate, then open the door, keeping the security chain on. Lena, he starts, voice rough. We need to talk. About what? Your firm's collapse or the baby you didn't mention? I keep my tone even, but my grip on the door tightens. He flinches, eyes darting to the street. Elise told you? She told me enough. Why are you here, Marcus? He steps closer, lowering his voice. The DA's coming for Dad and Mom's a wreck. You stirred this up. You can stop it. I laugh, sharp and cold. Stop it? You think I planted your loan defaults or Dad's blackmail emails? You built this mess. Not alone, he snaps. Dad's deals kept us all afloat. Even your precious scholarships came from his dirty money. The words sting, but I hold his gaze. I earned every cent I have now. You're still begging for scraps of his lies. He runs a hand through his hair, pacing. I'm trying to save what's left. Elise, she's gone. The firm's gone. And now Mom's talking about selling the house to pay Dad's legal fees. Help me fix this, Lena. For family. Family? I unhook the chain but don't invite him in. Family was Mom laughing when Elise called me a warning sign. Family was Dad offering me a filing job while you smirked. Family was a couch and a quilt while you got my old room. I'm done fixing your messes. His face twists, anger mixing with something like shame. You think that glass house makes you better than us? You're still the screw-up who tanked her marriage. And you're the golden boy who tanked his life, I say, stepping onto the porch. Difference is, I rebuilt. You're still digging. He opens his mouth, but tires crunch on the street. Nora's car pulls up, her lawyer briefcase in hand. She steps out eyeing Marcus. Everything okay? Fine, I say, waving her over. Marcus was just leaving. He glares at Nora, then back at me. This isn't over. It is for me, I say, and shut the door. Nora raises an eyebrow as she steps inside. He looked rough, desperate, I correct, leading her to the kitchen. Coffee? Please. She sets her briefcase down, watching me. You didn't let him in. Progress. Learned my lesson with charming liars. I hand her a mug, our fingers brushing. He wanted me to bail out Dad. Can you believe it? With your family? Yes, she sips, then grins. You held your ground, proud of you. We settle at the island, talking through her day, court, in the morning, a new case in the afternoon. I tell her about Elise's visit, my foundation plans, the art program taking shape. You're building a legacy, she says, her voice warm. Not just a business, a mark. That's the goal. I glance at the fridge, at Elise's ultrasound. I want kids like her son to have what I didn't. A chance to shine, no matter who's trying to dim them. Nora's hand finds mine. You're already doing that. Look at Elise. Look at you. The moment lingers, soft and real. Then my phone buzzes. A text from Vivian. Lunch at the cafe? Got gala ideas and gossip about your parents' latest meltdown. I show Nora and we laugh. Go, she says. I've got a deposition to prep for, but I'm free tonight. Dinner? Deal, I say, kissing her cheek. She heads out and I grab my jacket, texting Vivian back. See you there. At the cafe, Vivian's already at a corner table, her dog napping under her chair. She slides a menu over, her smile sly. Your mother tried to join the gala committee this morning. Thought it'd save face. They turned her down flat. I choke on my water. You're kidding. Nope. The board member you roasted at the gala? Her best friend runs the committee. Karma's a meticulous accountant. She leans in. Also, Marcus was seen at the bank, trying to refinance. Denied. I shake my head, scanning the menu. They're imploding. And you're soaring, she says, tapping the table. Now, about the gala, think modern art installations, local youth artists showcasing their work. Tie it to your foundation. Perfect, I say. Ideas sparking. We spend lunch plotting, her sharp wit cutting through my plans like a sculptor's chisel, refining them. By the time I leave, my notebook's full and my chest feels light. I walk home, the glass house gleaming in the afternoon sun. Mom's curtains twitch as I pass, but I don't look back. Elise arrives at 3, her laptop under her arm. We set up in my office, and I guide her through setting up her profile on the freelance platform. Rates, portfolio, client pitches. You're good at this, she says, typing furiously. Why didn't you ever tell them? They never asked. I lean back, watching her work. But you're asking. That's enough. She pauses, meeting my eyes. I'm scared, Lena. Single mom, starting over. It's a lot. I was scared too, I say. Divorced, broke, on a couch. But fear's just fuel if you keep moving. She nods, saving her profile. Thanks for this, for lunch, for showing me I can do this. Anytime, I say. And when that kid arrives, he's got an aunt who knows a thing or two about rising. She laughs, packing up. You're hosting the gala, right? I'm coming. Gotta see your mom's face when you run the show. Wouldn't miss her expression for the world. I grin. After she leaves, I finalize the art program proposal, emailing it to a local youth center. They reply instantly. Let's meet tomorrow. Things are moving fast, but I'm ready. Night falls, and Nora arrives with takeout. Thai, my favorite. We eat on the terrace, the neighborhood quiet except for the faint hum of crickets. Your parents' lights are off, she notes, nodding across the street. Probably licking their wounds, I say, dipping a spring roll. or plotting how to spin this at the country club. Let them try, she says, her hand on mine. You've got the bigger stage now. We talk late about her cases, my plan, the trip we're eyeing to the coast. Later, in the living room, we sprawl on the couch, her head in my lap. My phone stays quiet. No family texts, no pleas or accusations, just the soft glow of my home, the weight of Nora's warmth, and the hum of a life I built from the ground up. I glance at the security feed one last time. Their house is dark, Mom's silhouette gone. Let them fade. I'm too busy shining. The glass house feels alive. As I wake, its vast windows catching the dawn's first blush. My office is already a hive of activity. Emails from the youth center, a draft logo for the foundation, and a new client proposal waiting for my signature. Elise's ultrasound photo on the fridge is joined by a sticky note. Coffee, W. her. At 10 a.m., I brew a pot, the aroma mingling with the crisp morning air. Nora's jacket hangs on the chair where she left it last night, a quiet reminder of her steady presence. I'm not used to this, someone who stays, who sees me without judgment, but I'm learning to lean into it. Outside, the neighborhood stirs. Vivian's dog yaps down the street, and a neighbor jogs past, waving. Mom's car is still parked, curtains still drawn. I wonder if they slept at all, or if Dad's pacing his office, cursing the DA, while Mom rearranges her china to feel in control. Marcus's Porsche hasn't returned, and I don't expect it soon. Their world is unraveling, thread by thread, while mine knits together. I head to the cafe to meet Elise, grabbing a window table. She arrives, her step lighter than yesterday, a notebook tucked under her arm. Signed my first client this morning, she says, sliding into the seat. Small project, but it's mine. That's huge, I say, pushing a latte toward her. First one's always the hardest. She grins, flipping open her notebook. I took your advice. Set my rates higher than I thought I could. They didn't even blink. Told you, I say, tapping her page. Know your worth and they'll follow. We spend an hour brainstorming her next steps. Marketing, client retention, balancing work with her pregnancy. Her determination mirrors mine from 3 years ago, when I was piecing myself back together after the divorce. You're going to kill it, I tell her as we part ways. Text me when you land the next one. Deal, she says, hugging me. And Lena, thanks for being you. Back home, I dive into the foundation's art program. The youth center's director sent a detailed response, enthusiastic, but they need a budget breakdown by tomorrow. I pull up spreadsheets, crunching numbers for supplies, instructors, and studio space. It's meticulous, but every line feels like a brick in something lasting. My phone buzzes mid-calculation. Vivian, swing by? Got a surprise. I save my work and head out, curious. Vivian's house is a contrast to mine. Cozy, cluttered with antiques, her dog sprawled on a rug. She greets me with a glass of iced tea and a sly smile. You'll want to sit for this. She hands me a folder, thick with documents. More from Henry's past. Found these in an old safe I hadn't opened in years. I scan the pages, letters, ledgers, a notarized agreement tying Dad to another forced sale. This one a decade before Vivian's. Another family he pushed out, I say, my stomach tightening. How many were there? Enough to keep the, DA busy for years, she says, her voice sharp. I'm sending copies to their office tomorrow. Thought you'd want a preview. I nod, flipping through the evidence. It's not just about Dad anymore. It's a pattern, a legacy of greed he tried to pass to Marcus. Why keep digging? I ask. You got your justice. She leans back, stroking her dog's ears. Justice isn't a one and done, Lena. It's a reckoning. And you're the spark that lit it. Her words settle deep, heavy but empowering. I leave with the folder, promising to review it later. Back home, I tuck it into my safe, next to the originals from the glass house. Sailor. The weight of Dad's actions feels like a shadow, but it's not mine to carry. I return to my budget, finishing it as the sun climbs higher. Nora texts around noon. Case wrapped temprano? Lunch? I suggest a food truck by the park, and we meet there, sharing tacos under a sprawling oak. You look focused, she says, stealing a bite of my carnitas. Foundation stuff, I say. And Vivian dropped more dirt on Dad. It's a lot, she nods, her lawyer brain kicking in. The DA's building a bigger case than I thought. Your dad might not just lose his license, could be real time. I chew slowly, processing. Part of me wants to feel bad. He's still my father. But then I remember the couch, the years of being invisible. You don't owe them guilt, she says, her hand on my knee. You're not the one who broke things. I know. I lean into her, the park's bustle fading. I'm just glad you're here for this part. Wouldn't miss it, she says, kissing my temple. We finish lunch, talking about lighter things, her quirky new client, My idea for a rooftop? Garden. She heads back to work, and I walk home, the folder from Vivian on my mind. The afternoon is a blur of calls, youth center director, a potential investor for the foundation, a client with a rush job. By evening, I'm drained but satisfied, the kind of tired that comes from building something real. Nora arrives with pizza, and we eat in the living room. My art program sketches spread across the coffee table. "This is ambitious," she says, studying the plans. "You're really doing this." "Damn right," I say, tossing a crust back in the box. "Kids like I was, they deserve someone betting on them." She smiles, pulling me close. "You're incredible. You know that?" says the woman who argues with judges for a living, I tease, resting my head on her shoulder. We watch the sunset through the glass, the neighborhood glowing in soft pinks. Across the street, Mom's kitchen light flicks on, her shadow moving slowly. I wonder if she's cooking for Dad, or just staring at the walls, replaying their fall. It doesn't tug at me like it used to. Later, Nora helps me hang a new painting in the foyer, one of mine from a year ago, all bold blues and sharp angles. "It's you," she says, stepping back. Strong, unapologetic. I laugh, adjusting. The frame. "Took me long enough to get here. Worth the wait," she says, her hand slipping into mine. We stand there, the house quiet except for our breathing. My phone buzzes. Another youth center email, but it can wait. So can the folder, the DA, my family's chaos. Tonight it's just us, this home, and the life I'm carving out, piece by defiant piece. Morning brings a new rhythm. I'm up early, emailing the youth center with the budget, scheduling a site visit. Elise texts, "Second client signed. Drink soon?" I reply, "Hell yes. Name the day." Vivian calls, her voice bright. "D, got the new docs." They're thrilled. "Also, Gala Committee wants your input on themes. You in?" "Count me on," I say, already picturing the youth artist's work stealing the show. I hang up, glancing out the window. Mom's car is gone. Dad's office light is off, and Marcus's absence lingers like a ghost. Their house feels smaller every day, while mine grows, not just in space, but in meaning. Nora swings by before work, dropping off coffee and a quick kiss. "Keep shining," she says, heading out. I sip the coffee, open my laptop, and dive back in. The foundation, the clients, the art program, it's all mine, built from the ashes of their doubt. Let them whisper across the street. I'm too busy writing my next chapter, and it's going to be louder, brighter, and entirely my own. The dawn unfurls its golden tendrils through the towering windows of my glass house, bathing the polished, hardwood floors in a warm, ethereal glow that feels like a quiet promise of new beginnings. I'm already ensconced in my office, a sanctuary of sleek minimalism and purposeful chaos, papers strewn across the desk, a laptop humming with open tabs, and a whiteboard scrawled with brainstorming notes for the Foundation's art program. The refrigerator door, visible through the open kitchen, boasts Elise's ultrasound photo, now accompanied by a second sticky note. Youth Center meeting 2 p.m. A third note, in Nora's neat handwriting, reads, "Don't skip lunch, genius." I smile, tracing the edge of her words, marveling at how her steady presence has woven itself into the fabric of my days. A comforting thread in the tapestry of my hard-won independence. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee, dark roast, with a hint of hazelnut, lingers in the air, mingling with the faint scent of jasmine from a diffuser on the shelf. I sip from a ceramic mug, its warmth grounding me as I draft an email to the youth center director, attaching the meticulously crafted budget for the art program. $10,000 for supplies, canvases, paints, clay, sketch pads, $15,000 for part-time, instructors, $5,000 for a renovated studio space with proper lighting and ventilation. Every figure is a deliberate choice, a brick laid in the foundation of a dream to give kids like I once was, overshadowed and underestimated, a chance to create, to be seen, to matter. My phone vibrates, a cascade of notifications, a client confirming a 6-figure project, a thank you note from Elise for yesterday's coaching, and a cryptic text from Vivian. "Pop by after your meeting. Big news." My curiosity peaks, but I file it away, refocusing on the spreadsheet before me. Outside, the neighborhood unfolds in its predictable rhythm. A jogger in neon leggings pounds the pavement, earbuds glinting in the sunlight. A delivery truck rumbles past, its driver whistling a tune I can't quite place. Across the street, my parents' house squats in stubborn silence, its curtains drawn tight like eyelids refusing to face the day. Mom's car, a pristine silver sedan, hasn't budged since yesterday, and Dad's office window remains dark, a stark contrast to the days when he'd swagger out for tennis or client meetings, his confidence an unassailable fortress. Marcus's Porsche is still absent, likely parked outside some dive bar or a shady associate's office as he scrambles to salvage his crumbling empire. Their world, once a polished veneer of success and superiority, is disintegrating, eroded by the weight of their own deceit. I feel no urge to peer into their chaos. My gaze is fixed forward on the horizon of my own making. The youth center meeting is a whirlwind of enthusiasm and logistics. The director, a wiry woman named Carla with a penchant for colorful scarves, greets me with a firm handshake and a binder bursting with ideas. We tour the proposed studio space, a drafty room with chipped paint but good bones, and I envision it transformed. White walls adorned with student murals, easels lined up like soldiers, sunlight streaming through new skylights. Carla peppers me with questions about funding timelines, community outreach, and instructor qualification, and I answer with a confidence honed by months of late-night planning. This program, she says, her eyes bright, could change lives. We've got kids here who are bursting with talent but no outlet. I nod, thinking of my teenage self, sketching in secret while Marcus's trophies gleamed on the mantle. That's why I'm here, I say, and we seal the partnership with a promise to launch by fall. Back home, I detour to Vivian's, my sneakers crunching on the gravel path to her ivy-draped cottage. Her dog, a scruffy terrier named Jasper, bounds out to greet me, his tail a blur of excitement. Vivian appears in the doorway, her silver hair swept into an elegant bun, a glass of sparkling water in hand. Perfect timing, she says, ushering me inside. Her living room is a treasure trove of eclectic charm. Vintage lamps, Persian rugs, a bookshelf groaning under the weight of leather-bound tomes. She gestures to a velvet couch, and I sink into it, Jasper curling up at my feet. So, she begins, her voice laced with mischief, the DA called. Your father's case just got uglier. I lean forward, pulse quickening. How ugly? She slides a manila envelope across the coffee table, its edges worn but contents pristine. These surfaced from a former colleague of Henry's, a disgruntled one, mind you. Bank records, wire transfers, a ledger detailing payoffs to local officials. Your father wasn't just strong-arming homeowners like me, he was greasing palms to dodge zoning laws and tax audits. I open the envelope, scanning the documents. Names, dates, dollar amounts, each entry a nail in the coffin of Dad's legacy. There's more, Vivian adds, sipping her drink. Marcus's firm was a front for some of these transactions. The DA's sniffing around him now, too. I exhale, the weight of their crimes settling like dust. Marcus knew? Maybe not the full scope, but enough to be complicit. Her eyes narrow. He's been calling me, you know, begging for discretion, offered to pay me off. I laugh, sharp and incredulous. With what? His overdrawn credit cards? Precisely. She leans back, crossing her ankles. I told him discretion went out the window when he and Henry thought they could bully their way to power. The DA gets everything tomorrow. I tuck the envelope under my arm, my mind racing. Why show me first? Because you're the fulcrum, she says, her gaze steady. You tipped the scales, Lena. Your courage, buying this house, exposing their lies, gave others permission to come forward. This isn't just about justice for me or you. It's about dismantling a system they thrived in. Her words resonate, heavy with responsibility, but alight with purpose. I thank her, promising to keep her posted, and head home, Jasper's bark fading behind me. The glass house welcomes me with its serene expanse, the late afternoon sun casting prisms across the walls. I store the envelope in my safe next to the others and return to my office, where the art program awaits. But my focus wavers, snagged on Vivian's revelation. Marcus, complicit. Dad, a puppet master of corruption. Mom, complicit by silence, clinging to her illusion of perfection. I wonder, fleetingly, if she ever questioned him, or if she simply polished the silver while he schemed. Nora's call pulls me back. Dinner at mine? She asks, her voice a balm. I'm craving your company in some terrible reality TV. Sold, I say, grabbing my keys. Her apartment is a cozy contrast to my sleek domain. Books piled, on every surface. A mismatched quilt on the couch. A kitchen that smells of garlic and rosemary. She greets me with a glass of Merlot and a kiss that lingers, her warmth unraveling the knot in my chest. Over pasta and a trashy dating show, I tell her about Vivian's document, Marcus's desperation, the youth center's potential. She listens, her lawyer's mind parsing every detail, but it's her hand on mine that anchors me. You're Unstoppable, she says, twirling spaghetti. They tried to bury you, and you built a damn castle. Glass, not stone, I tease, but her words settle deep. We talk late about her latest case, a corporate fraud whistleblower, my foundation's next steps, and the coastal getaway we keep postponing. Soon, she promises, her eyes soft. You, me, no drama, just waves and bad sunburns. Deal, I say, leaning into her. The TV drones on, but I'm lost in the quiet rhythm of us. Her laughter, her steady breathing, the way she fits into my life like she was always meant to. Later, we sprawl on her couch, her head in my lap, a half-empty wine bottle on the table. My phone stays silent, no texts from Mom's guilt trips, no pleas from Marcus, no threats from Dad. Their absence is a gift, a clean slate I'm filling with purpose. Morning dawns with a flurry of tasks. I meet Elise for breakfast, where she gushes about her third client and her first prenatal yoga class. I'm terrified but excited, she admits, stirring her tea. Like I'm doing this, really doing it. You are, I say, squeezing her hand. And you're not alone. She smiles, real and unguarded. You're like the sister I never had. The words hit hard, filling a space I didn't know was empty. We part with a hug, and I head to the youth center for a follow-up where Carla unveils a mock-up of the studio's new design. Bright, functional, inspiring. We're naming it the Larson Studio, she says, grinning. After you, not, you know. I laugh, touched. Perfect. Vivian texts as I leave. DA's moving fast. Marcus subpoenaed. Gala theme vote tomorrow. Your pick? I reply, Youth Art Showcase. Let's make it loud. Her response is a string of fire emojis. Home feels like a beacon as I pull into Wichi, the driveway, the glass house gleaming under a cloudless sky. Nora's waiting, her car parked beside mine, a picnic basket in hand. Surprise, she says, pulling me into a hug. Thought we'd eat by the lake. Work can wait an hour. We drive to a nearby park, spreading a blanket under a willow tree. Sandwiches, lemonade, her terrible puns. It's simple, perfect. You're good for me, I say, watching her toss a crust to a duck. Ditto, she says, her hand finding mine. Across the street, my parents' house fades into irrelevance. Its shadows no match for my light. The foundation, Elise, Nora, Vivian. These are my family now, built on trust, not obligation. I lean back, the grass cool beneath me, and let the moment stretch. My phone buzzes. A new client. Another step forward. I silence it, savoring the breeze, Nora's laughter, the life I've claimed. They thought they'd define me. Instead, I'm rewriting the story, word by relentless word, and it's only the beginning.
Lena's rise from a couch to a glass house is more than a comeback. It's a reckoning, proving she was never the failure her family saw. Her story leaves us hungry for more. Curious about another tale of triumph over betrayal? The video on your screen tells a fresh story of someone breaking free from their past. Click to watch it now and stay inspired.